Sweet. What up, guys?
What's up, y'all? Happy Tuesday.
It feels like a lifetime since we've done a Seller Hour, even though it was only a week. But yeah, it was only a week. Yeah, excited to jam with y'all here. Whatever questions y'all got, let us know. If you want live ASIN reviews, if you want us to pull up ASINs you're considering snagging, right here, put them in the chat. We'll take a look for you. Right there, put them in the chat. We'll take a look for you.
Absolutely. And for all you guys watched on the replay, all that good stuff, we've been dropping a bunch of good videos on the Seller Amp channel, my channel, Miles' channel. Just click around through those to get a bunch of good info. Show you how to source products, ship products into Amazon, all that good stuff. So no excuses for staying broke in the current environment, right? So lots of Easter sales going. We'll have back to school season kicking in here before too long. Mother's Day sales, Memorial Day sales, all that kind of stuff will generate some awesome opportunities. What's up, Ken? What's up, Quinn? Mark? Next trip. Good to see you guys.
Ironically, Earth Day sales too, which is fairly fairly ironic.
I think that might defeat the point, but sure, we'll take it, I guess.
Gotta love capitalism, I guess. Right?
You call it sustainable for the week and run a 20% code and use the same shipping process. And hey, we'll get some good sourcing out of it at least.
Sounds about right. What's up, Ken? Quinn, good to see you guys here. What's up, Mark? Yes, sir. ONT, I feel like ONT, but you've taken a couple streams off. We're good to have you here. But yeah, whatever questions y'all got about product research or any component building the Amazon business, we'll get to it. What's up, TD? Beautiful skyline right there. Do you do wholesale? Personally, I have a little bit in the past, but arbitrage is the main focus.
Yeah, pretty much all OAJF. Every now and then we'll hop on a deal. A lot of that's just the result of good networking, right? If you make a lot of Amazon seller friends, then when there's some opportunities to hop on together, you're telling people about good online buys that can go down. People are putting you on some good wholesale buys that they're stumbling on. You just want a good good little squad you can roll with and take advantage of all the different stuff that's going on.
100%. Can you guys explain if it's a good idea for a new FBM seller getting ungated in Nike and then drop shipping shoes? So you can retail drop ship on Amazon. So I definitely wouldn't recommend that. And then as of about a year ago this week, new Amazon sellers haven't been able to ungate Nike, right? So therefore, kind of like no in every capacity, but that's like pretty much everything else that you'll see or in respect to like the business model of like getting ungated for other things and, selling products to the platform, not drop shipping will be, good to go.
Yeah. The main thing is there's a lot of stuff you can still sell. Don't drop ship though. That'll get you banned real quick. Just make sure you buy it and ship it in at some point.
Yep.
What up, Brian?
Ken says, I'm just getting started. I purchased everything I need. Just got my DL now. I'm going to apply for seller account. Cool. Yeah, nice. Yeah, get that done.
Sweet.
Right there. Seller Amp, keep a box them, and then watch a shitload of YouTube content and start taking action.
Yep. What up, Camille? Any event? Yeah, we'll be speaking at Miami Sellers in like a week.
Literally a week, I believe.
From tomorrow or something like that. Yeah. So we'll be in Miami pretty quick. I know I'll get to meet a good amount of you guys already been telling me you'll be there. So yeah. And then we'll a lot of us will be at ASD. Usually the one in August is pretty popping as far as like Amazon sellers go.
Yep. What can I begin to sell or should I focus on ungating? Yeah. So if you search Fields of Profit auto ungate or Flips for Miles auto ungate on YouTube, you'll find videos where we talk about auto ungate product sourcing. I'm actually going to make another one soon. That's basically how to source products that are open to sell right away from the get-go, right? So stuff like Stafford and stuff like Cuddle Duds and stuff like the Danner Shoelace brand, right? And then as well, I don't really think you should see getting ungated as like a big bottleneck. When you find something, you ungate it, right there. Is it possible to get ungated in Fujifilm? Yeah, you'll see there's other sellers in those listings. So 100% right there. Yeah.
Any brand that lets you apply, just get it from Target, Walmart, Walgreens, wherever you found it profitably, basically.
Yeah, all those big sites. Yeah. Tickets still available. Yeah. So we actually, every year, more and more people think we run Miami Sellers Conf. We make a grand total of $0 from your attendance, but I will like to, chop it up a little bit and stuff, right? So yeah, I have no idea. I would assume so. But you just Google Miami Sellers Conf, you'll find the websites of our buddies that run it up. Yeah. Or that run it. Yeah.
Yep. Can you add a variation to a current listing if it's the same product, just different color design? So there might already be a different variation on that listing, Amanda. You can look at the variation wizard. Just like Google that. It's like a Seller Central tool. And then a lot of times if you're looking at like shoes or clothes, that kind of thing, it might just be an out of stock variation. You can bring it back. A lot of times it's not really worth the effort of creating a new variation. You can certainly try, but if you don't own the brand registry, it can be a little bit tricky.
Any events in Arizona or California? There's definitely going to be a bunch of trade shows in California. I don't know about like any big ones though. Personally, would Walmart ungate you for Fujifilm? Yeah, all big websites. Yep. Yeah, all big websites work for all ungates that you can apply for right there. So yeah, Walmart totally. And if you look for that brand on Walmart, you will find lots of dinero to sell if you use tax exempt and discounted gift cards.
Yep. So you're saying when you buy items to resell, how do you get these sales tax back? So you don't get the sales tax back. That's just part of your COGS if you don't have a resale permit or that website doesn't take it. So you can just include that in your COGS basically. And then sites like Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot will take your sales tax permit, which is a great idea to get your costs lower.
What's up, amigos? Miss you yesterday, Miles.
What up, Adrian?
Yeah, it's facts. What's up, Amanda? Yeah, guys, if you want us to check any ASINs for you, just drop any in the chat, and we're happy to pop them up and analyze them for you guys and let us know, or let you know, right, if they're good and everything like that.
Absolutely. Let's see. Reactivate an old account from 2017. Ooh, that's what's up. Let's see. I'm not sure if everything's grayed out like you're talking about, then I don't know what that would mean. You probably hit up seller support, but having an older account will grandfather you into some programs that new accounts don't have access to. Probably some brands that newer accounts don't have access to as well. So definitely take advantage of that.
Oh, okay. Appreciate you giving me the right of way on that, Adrian. That as long as I made it today, it's good to go. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, family.
Sweet. So keep the questions rolling here. Do you still think it's worth it when a lot of companies are moving to 100 minimum? So the nice part is you can still submit 10 unit invoices on those and it still works. I have not submitted a 100 unit invoice yet, and I've ungated 20 or so brands that needed invoices since they started doing some weird stuff. So just keep submitting 10. And no, like since in the documentation they're still mentioning retail receipts are allowed for authenticity and all that kind of stuff. I'm not super worried. If you are, you can always start selling on other marketplaces as well to kind of diversify, sell more brands, that kind of thing. I wouldn't I was a lot more comfortable 4 years ago selling one brand super heavily. Right now you want to be a little more diversified. That's about the only thing that's changed.
Okay, good question here from Zerk, right? How much is a good amount to spend a month on procs to be full-time? So it basically breaks down. This would be a great thing to play with on ChatGPT, like depending on your expenses numbers, but it depends like how much money you need to live, right? There's a big difference between having a family to support and being a young Chat scaler, right? So say you need $5,000 a month to live, right? And you want to be able to reinvest in the business a little bit and you make 30% ROI on average, right? You probably want to around 20 grand a month of inventory spend ish would make that possible with a cushion. Obviously not all your products are going to sell and everything right there too. Right. And that might sound like a lot, and it is, and you're not going to do that right away from the get go because you need the skill level and you're going to build that up over time. Yeah.
Yep. Yes. The numbers that, and every seller who has gotten a lot big, like the numbers you're spending every day are like, you would have, number one, probably didn't even have that to your name when you're starting. And you'd lose your mind if you look at yourself a year from now when you're spending like $2,000 on some random grocery items. What the hell am I doing? But it's just business as usual at some point.
Who is the guest for the Buy Box Bandits podcast? You should all subscribe. We haven't made a BBB episode in a little while. Get on that.
So Camilla, you selling on Walmart? Yeah, so I sell on Walmart, Camilla. Yeah. Yeah. Good.
And what? Yeah. What are the big things you notice in respect to the differences between the marketplaces?
I mean, a lot of it's pretty similar. It's just more of the Wild West on Walmart right now. For better and for worse. There's a lot less demand too. So if you're gonna focus on one thing to start, it's still Amazon. But it's good backup. That's kind of how I treat it. Like anything that goes weird on Amazon, you just sell on Walmart now, basically.
Can you talk about working with wholesalers and shipping LTL? So we don't have a ton of experience with that. Our buddy Corey Ganem, he has a bunch of good content out there on YouTube on how to specifically do that kind of stuff. But really, it's pretty much just you do outreach and you open accounts, basically where you provide the documentation necessary to buy products B2B with no sales tax, right? And then you get their pricing, and if the numbers make sense, you place orders. You can negotiate for discounts. Some of them have minimum order quantities. Some of them have minimum advertised pricing where you can't go below a certain pricing and everything. So you probably don't need to worry about too much of that until you start doing outreach. But that's like kind of a lot of the basics of buying directly from brands, directly from distributors, and everything.
Yeah, Craig, I have a couple of videos I've got LTL shipment video, shipping from your wholesalers, finding suppliers, that kind of stuff. And then check out Corey's channel for sure. Feels like Walmart's newer; they still know what they're doing. Yeah, there's a little bit of that for sure. A lot of opportunity to slip into on that though for sure as well. We do it every other week, Adrian. So we're chilling tomorrow night.
Yep. Thanks. Yeah. Got you, Mark. Do you guys accept student mentorships like one-on-one to help guys scale up? Yeah. So true. Just check the descriptions of any of our stuff and you'll see more information on that. I actually just posted a good YouTube video today with a mentee that literally he kind of had every reason to not choose online arbitrage as his business of choice, but he was living overseas in the Middle East on a military base and was still able to scale up to 10 grand a month plus in profit part-time. And now he's back in the States, no longer in the military after finishing a sentence, or not sentence, whatever you call it.
Sentence.
Yeah, not mean it at all like that. Term, I guess, on that.
Tour, I think that's the word, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's crazy though. Yeah. You said 60K a month.
So, and I mean, he's going to grow it heavily too.
That's
now
awesome.
He's home, but yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. Bro is literally in a war zone doing online arbitrage and you're going to say you don't have time.
Yeah.
For what you have to go, it doesn't matter, Craig. Yeah. Like LLC, that kind of thing. What up, Jules? Long time no see for sure.
Well, Jules,
haven't seen the name around. Yeah.
Yeah. We appreciate you, Jules.
What's up, man? How are sales looking like for you recently? I assume since you stopped popping in, you know what you're talking about now, and you're making some money. Like it. Did they take? Is there? Yeah. Any legit retailers? If you see just all the ungating questions, right? If you see a crazy unit counts, submit 10. They take any legit retailer. If you can apply, then you're good. If they ask you to submit invoices again, that's fine. They are making sure that there's no counterfeit sellers on the platform. Resubmit. So yeah, business as usual in that regard.
How do you prove product authenticity with a receipt from a retail store? So interestingly enough, like receipts from in-store don't typically work for ungates. I have seen them work for ungates though. They are primarily a tool that does work for inauthentic complaints and stuff like that. So literally just make sure you keep receipts and you'll be good to go on that kind of stuff.
Yep. Bro's name is literally Amazon Business. I like it.
Very creative too.
Sounds good. Yeah. So let us know what other questions you guys got here. What do you say if a distributor asks if you have a warehouse when you only have residential? So you can give them like your prep center address if they only ship to commercial addresses, or you can partner. Like if you have any friends, family, that kind of thing that run their own store, you can also make some good networking connections there. That's definitely a little higher level and kind of up to who you know. But just give them a prep center if they require a commercial address.
I jumped in when you were talking about 100 unit orders. What's up with Amazon requesting purchase invoice and not retail invoice? There's zero difference, Craig. They've been saying that in ungate denials since I started 5 years ago, and it's nothing's changed in that respect. Even if they word it like that, we're seeing very differences in terms of what they're accepting, or seeing no differences in terms of what they are and aren't accepting prior. With that, any app that you can recommend that's similar to SellerAmp for Walmart? Nothing really specific that we've seen that kind of stands out.
Yeah, pretty much all the Walmart tools are kind of garbage right now. It's kind of the nature of a new market.
Yeah. Let me try again in English. Do you avoid all brands where the brand has a seller account? Not all, but most. Yeah, not all, but most. Yeah.
Monofig, go watch like 30 seconds ago. Got the answer to your question there, man. How do you scale? Obviously, sweet, doing a service business. So we're not really focused on a service business too much, but I like it. Keep up the good work there.
Currently $2K a month. Okay. Yeah. Good for you, man. I see you're probably a VA. That's cool. Good for you.
Very nice. It's the max time for selling 10 items on one listing. So it's going to completely depend on the volume on that listing, Milan, right? So you just want to check SellerAmp. It'll show you how fast it sells per month. And then figure out roughly how many other sellers are kind of making sales on that listing as well. So you can check like the pie chart on SellerAmp. Here, I can just get a quick example pulled up here so I can show you guys what we're talking about rather than just
And the big thing is
talking
making
about
sure, making sure you're buying stuff that actually sells, that has proven sales history. So Warner and I both have full Keepa and full seller amp tutorials that you should totally check out. That'll walk through the basics on.
You can pop it up here
stuff.
real quick, but you'll see like you can go to like the last 30 days and say, all right, sells pretty well on this listing. See, about what's that, like 5-6 different sellers are making sales. So that's kind of your competition on this. You can see it's even lower right now. There's only 3 people on this. So just kind of make an educated test buy. In the early days, just make sure that you're seeing sales rotate between different sellers here. And this says that it's selling. And just buy like 5 or 10 units, see how fast you can sell it. And then restock based on how fast you sold. So you sold your 5 units in a day, time to get like 150, right? If it took you, the month to sell 5, maybe restock another 5 or 10.
Yeah. What is the name of the Discord? Yeah, the Amazon Launchpad. You can find it on Google there. 3 months in and on pace for 11K. Best way to scale up for one. Very good job in terms of getting going. And it's just more and better of what you're already doing, right? So finding more items that are similar to what you're already doing and buying more of those items that you're already selling, basically. So scaling up pretty much with that. Yep. So just use the email receipt from Tommy Hilfiger, Craig. Yeah, choose the email receipt there.
They'll email you an invoice or order confirmation, whatever you want to call it. Don't get too hung up on what they call it, basically.
Yeah, it's a great Discord. I was actually talking in the Discord a ton this weekend, guys. Yeah, it's just the Amazon Launchpad. We also have a Facebook group if Facebook's your cup of tea. And you could find that too at the Amazon Launchpad, just if you search it on Facebook there. Yeah.
Yep. We've seen some brands that say they're IP alert, can't see any history of complaints. Yeah, that's just because some brands, there might be one listing that they've IP complained on, or they might IP complain on 100% of the listings, right? So if you've done your homework and you're digging in and you see, there's been plenty of third-party sellers, no like cliffs, people getting kicked off, that kind of thing, then go for it. That's just saying that, at some point or on some of their listings, they have sent out IP complaints.
How can you tell when you're using selling app if a seller is wholesale? Good question. Typically review count. Yeah, typically review count. And what types of stuff they're selling. If they're selling like Colgate and like super big household brands, it's probably wholesale. But if they're selling like a lot of like clothing brands, which tend to be arbitrage things, they're probably doing online and retail arbitrage. The nice thing is like where you should start out typically with this stuff is the items you see in our channel, right? In our videos, right? Which is going to make it pretty easy, honestly, to, predominantly look at OA products or entirely look at OA products. Yeah.
Rose got the whiteboard behind you. You in a college classroom. You putting on a lecture
demonstration. Yeah.
Arbitrage 101. It's a 5,000 level class.
Yeah.
We actually do got the whiteboard back here. I love it.
ROI. Right. Under 200K. Oh wait, no. Below 200K BSI. Below 200K.
Yanni said, would you still sell an item that Amazon's selling if they share buy box? So like we were looking at that buy box pie chart earlier. If they're on the listing and they're not winning 100% of it, then yeah, absolutely.
Right. Yeah, I have.
That is the type of stuff your professor would be writing if there was an Amazon class.
Stream exclusive. I have horrific handwriting. This is the first time anyone on the internet's ever learned that, but I have horrific handwriting.
Mine is basically unreadable.
Unreadable?
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's
like I remember like my high school notes, I would look at it like an hour later. I was like, I have no idea what I just wrote down here.
Craig said that 3 is rough.
The 3 is rough, yeah. How do you handle suppressed and out of stock listings? So suppressed just means that there's no buy box, and if you see the seller count fluctuating when there is no buy box, then go for it. If you see that like the seller count is only going up or it's staying super straight, like there's no movement, then probably not. If it's completely out of stock and you see that it used to sell, then go for it, because then you can be the only seller on it for a little bit.
Let's see here. Is the info that matters? That's a fact. Are you looking for 30% ROI on shoes? 30% minimum on things that aren't shoes. On shoes, you want to go higher, like 40% typically. But and then on grocery and stuff that can't be returned, you can go, 20% ROI plus and shit like that. Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. What do you think about? Yeah, I mean, as far as like the tariffs and stuff go, that would just increase the price of everything. We raise prices. We've seen it happen over the last 5 years. Price of everything goes up. You just raise the price on Amazon, and you'll see that prices on a lot of things are just gradually going up. So if that actually sticks, then yeah, we'll just keep raising prices.
Used to do books. How can I get my first product, bro? It just get started online arbitrage sourcing, right? Primarily storefront stock and start out on the videos you see on our channels. I just put a link in the chat too of a good beginner OA video. What's the BSR? Yeah, so BSR stands for sales rank, which is how fast something sells. Yeah, how fast something sells there.
Yeah. So if, like on SellerAmp, it'll show like the top X percent. Usually I like to stay in the top 2%. 1% if you can. It'll show you, because some categories like video games, for example, like a 30K rank, not a great for selling item, maybe 20 or 30 a month. 30K sales rank in, I don't know, clothes or beauty sells pretty decent, like probably 100, 200 times a month.
Are we supposed to avoid generic branded? Yes. Good question, Zach. Best way to use Home Depot to ungate, having issues with order receipt and with pro account thoughts. So it's not that you're having issues, they just haven't approved it yet, right? Getting denied for ungates is totally normal. Typically happens 5 to 10 times per brand, regardless of what you submit on it. Yeah.
Yeah, just keep it rolling there. You're good. You're probably not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
Laptops can't be returned. Good. I would be surprised if you can't return a laptop. I would double check on that. I still don't like the idea of selling expensive electronics just because somebody might swap the item out on you, that kind of thing. There's more incentive for people to be shady and expensive products. But if you see something where there's plenty of margin to make it worth the risk of selling that versus grocery or more consistent, easier to find products, then it doesn't hurt. You can always test order it too. How much wholesale do you? Not very much, Quinn. Just like probably 5-10% of yearly sales is wholesale. The rest of it is all OA. Occasionally running out to grab something if it's killer.
So Abraham, so that was because I sent it on my channel. You're watching on Warner's channel, but if you go through our channels, you'll see a bunch of good stuff on Proctor. Did you say clothing and beauty? So yeah, so shoes you want higher, like 35-40%. Clothing 30% plus, unless it's like some crazy women's thing that you think would get returned super often. Beauty and grocery 25%, even a little bit lower than that, depending if the volume's really good. Same thing with vitamins and everything.
Yeah, just because you want to have the like you can, if you want to get really technical with it as you scale, you can figure out your return rates for specific types of products and then do the math on how many of those fees are non-refundable. So like, for example, from my business, we found that it's right around $2 per sale on average for women's shoes is like the average cost of a return. So we just bake that into the fees, if you want to think about it that way. Thought
that when you got ungated, you were ungated for the whole brand. Yep, that's exactly true. Yeah, so I mean, for 99.99% of cases, yeah, it's true the vast majority of the time, yeah.
Yep. Unless it's like a really high volume ace and that had like counterfeits or something, some kind of issue with it.
Yeah, very rarely, every now and again, yeah.
Yep. Started doing OA, doing FBM on 6 listings. Haven't been able to get buy box in the last couple of weeks. Probably check the buy box stats on that listing. So like on the buy box stats, it'll show you if FBM sellers or FBA sellers are winning sales. And I bet it's just going to all FBA sellers right now. Because if all else is equal, Amazon's going to give all the sales to FBA sellers typically. So you might just have to send it into FBA to make sales on those.
When SellerAmp shows yes for eligibility, but it is yellow instead of green. I mean, just verify on your seller account. Do you have a cutoff review rating? Not sure what you mean by that. Shorts.
As far as like maybe on the actual listing, then it doesn't really matter. Like yeah, if it's profitable, then go for it. If it sells, then go for it, kind of thing. Unless the only reason would be like if you're talking about like a really low rating, like if it had a ton of 1 or 2 star ratings, then people are probably misled by the listing a little bit. Just kind of use your better judgment.
Gotta go, fellas. Thanks for doing that. Yeah, Craig, we got you. Yeah, and typically anything with really bad reviews isn't going to have a good sales rank or good sales volume in the first place, right? So you don't typically even have to worry about that, honestly. Yeah, which is very clutch. That makes it easy on there. That data is all that matters, y'all. Data is all that matters here. Let's see, on PetSmart, Bill Jack. I've never heard of that brand, honestly. Yeah, just if you're looking for like best place to start out storefront stocking, the most simple is always just like items you see in modernized videos that you already know are reseller friendly. Like that's going to be the name of the game, honestly.
Yeah. I can show you a quick little trick that you can try with those. I know you said you were looking at those on PetSmart and pop up. So we pop me up on stream here.
Oh yeah.
So what you can do to find these listings more easily is highlight over whatever text you want to search, basically. So like in this case, if we want to find all the best listings for this product, you just hit the SellerAmp Chrome extension. It'll grab that text. Then you can see, there's a 2-pack of 10 ounce for like $5.74 max cost. Probably not going to be super profitable. In fact, let's see, like what kind of other 25. So there's no like percent sales. This is probably your best bet is these 4 ounces. These 4-ounce bags could be profitable. Not sure like what made you check this one out specifically. I don't think this is really profitable or worth checking out just because these are the 3 listings for it. And the let's see, like that's $11 for buying this for like $9. And then the max cost on the smaller one that is on sale is not low enough because you can see like a 4-pack, and then we're getting them for basically $3 each, which is obviously gonna be a lot more than $6. But yeah, you can definitely kind of use that to if you're ever looking like at a specific source and you think it might be a profitable item, you can definitely use that. What's going to be more successful for you most likely is to dive into something like like if I go back to over here, if I go to just like a Stafford brand or Athletic Works, anything like that has like some nice auto and gate products. I think I've actually found this. JCPenney runs a sale on this. I don't think it's profitable at 24. But instead of just like randomly looking at a whole bunch of different listings, now hey, this is a auto and gated brand, and all the sellers on here are probably also selling some other auto and gated stuff, right? So you can start digging through, kind of using the products that they've already sourced for you as inspiration rather than just like randomly checking stuff out, basically.
Good question from Ken here. When listing a product, is SEO and keywords important? Not whatsoever. Not at all, right? Because we're selling on listings that already exist, that already have proven sales search. That's like what the online arbitrage business model is built on, basically. So you literally need to do none of that. All you do is use Boxem to list it, right, and then ship it off to the FBA warehouse. Then you're good to go, and it just gets listed on the listing.
Yep. Let's see. Can you use sign up to see if you're auto engaged? So it won't. I mean, actually, yeah, you can. You can press the manual check button on the alerts panel. It'll auto engage for you if it is. But you do still have to like press a button.
It appears Amazon's charging more in fees now. Has anyone else experienced this? Yeah, it happened for everyone about a year ago. Was a little bit of an increase. This year, there's actually no changes in terms of like specific fees, which was a press release, I think, from like November, specifically right there. But the nice thing is, Orianda, if you're keeping up in the mix, you're staying active with our content, everything, you'll be notified of any major changes to the Amazon landscape.
Yeah, for a video I made a little while back, I was curious on that because I kept hearing, fees are going up, no one's making profit anymore. So I was like, all right, let me look at my own data and figure that out. So since like the first year we started selling to 2024 stats, the percentage of fees that we paid on our overall revenue went up by 1.8%. So if that is significant for your business, then yes, you're not making money on Amazon anymore. Yeah. But hopefully 1.8% is the difference between having a thriving business and having nothing.
Should I put or should my box that send proxy be plain? If you're talking FBM, then they have to be. If you're talking FBA, you can reuse the ones from your OA orders. Yeah.
Yep. You're doing research for FBA products. Sign-up gives you a max cost in the negative. So that means that whoever's selling that's probably just not making money, or it's a really low cost item, and you probably have like your settings set to make $3 minimum per item, where whoever's selling it might be happy buying it for $1 and selling it for $1, basically. But for the most part, most of those negatives are just not profitable anymore. Whoever tried paying others to find you products. So that would be like hiring a virtual assistant, something like that. Based on the question, I'm going to assume you probably aren't quite ready for that. When you get to the point where you are confidently spending a bunch of money and you're just running out of time to spend the rest of your money, then you can start thinking about hiring people. And I think that's a great idea. Like at this point, my team sources the vast majority of the stuff we sell, but it's only because I spent a really long time like figuring out the basics and learning how I like to source so that I could teach people how to source and know when they're doing a good idea, bad idea, that kind of thing.
What's up? Let's see. Yeah, so don't worry about that. You got to learn to source on your own when you're getting the ball rolling right there. And then eventually you have the skill and you can manage someone. You can help someone, right there. So yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in. A lot of good beginner questions. We have a ton more content on our channels and the Seller Amp channel. I posted a good student interview today. You guys should check out as well. And we do these streams every Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern, and then every Tuesday, Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern as well. And I accidentally discovered a glitch that ended up causing me to have my
That's
account
probably, I would assume it's not a seller amp glitch. What probably happened is the Amazon listing sometimes displays something different from when you add it to cart. So probably the actual listing, which is what seller amp said, had like a 2-pack, and then the Amazon listing showed a 1-pack, or vice versa. So there's just like some customer confusion there. So just always, before you're buying something, just add it to cart basically, and make sure it looks good as a consumer end.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, appreciate all you guys tuning in. We'll see you guys for the next stream. Y'all have a great day. Let's keep up the good work here. Said now what?
Absolutely.
YTP. Yeah, you got to go
YTP?
out and touch some grass or something right there, family. Have a great one.